Hello, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm going to give you 3 simple single strategy tips that are definitely going to help you win more matches. Strategy number 1, I want you to aim down the middle on your return of serve. This is you, serve comes in your mind, when you're lining up and you're moving, you're split stepping, I want you to think of keeping the ball between those 2 lines. Return back down the middle. I think I need a new marker. There's a reason why. Because when you're late, either way, the ball will still go in. And if you can hit the ball very deep, and they're the type of player who moves in on their serve, if you can get the ball deep and pin it at their feet, you'll actually elicit many errors. So aiming down the middle, have the mindset of consistency. Look, you can't break serve if you can't get the return in. And too many players either, one, don't even have a target. Like they don't even think about where they want that ball to go. Or 2, they're thinking too much in the corners and then they're just hemorrhaging points because they're not, able to actually hit their target and they end up hitting wide. Aim down the middle and you're going to break serve a lot more often. Now, the second tip to help you win more singles matches is going to be to hit the ball higher over the net on average than you think you should. See, the net is the most common error that amateur players make, right? There are 4 places you can miss. In the net, long, to the left, and to the right. Well, the net accounts for over 50% of all the misses that occur. All you gotta do is just watch a tennis match, and every time somebody misses, mark where it lands. In the net, long, left, right. You'll notice that more than half the time, the ball is hitting the net. Players don't aim high enough, and they don't account for gravity and spin pulling that ball down. So by aiming higher over the net, and I'm not saying lob, I'm not saying hit 15 feet over the net. You could hit 4 feet over the net, 3, 4, 5 feet over the net, and that ball will easily land in. And you're gonna hit the net less. So that makes you more consistent. So you're gonna hit more balls in, and you're going to outlast your opponent. Another reason why it's good to hit the ball higher is the ball then lands deeper. When you hit the ball short, it brings your opponent in. So you're rallying back and forth with your opponent. When you hit the ball low over the net, sometimes it lands short and they get to step in, blast it to a corner, and now you're scrambling. If all you would have done is just hit the ball higher over the net, hitting the ball deep, keeping them back, especially if there's someone who has late racket preparation, if they don't like to take the ball on the rise, you will often push them back, forcing them to hit short, right? The easiest way to make them hit short is to hit the ball deep. And now you get to step in and you can hit a drop shot. It's a perfect time for a drop shot, by the way, after you've pushed them back. You can hit a good approach shot to their backhand and come forward, knock off the volley. So many good things happen when you hit the ball a little higher over the net than you think you should. I find something very interesting, and I wonder if I wasn't a coach, if I would be thinking the same way. There are 2 questions that I often receive by email or by, in the comments on social media. The 2 questions are, can you teach me how to hit the ball really low over the net, really low and hard? And how do I deal with high bouncing balls? The irony is nobody ever asks how to deal with fast low balls over the net. I don't get questions like that. Maybe people wonder, but I'm not receiving those questions. Isn't it interesting that the ball we're trying to learn how to hit fast and low over the net is a ball that our opponent is not going to struggle with? We don't struggle with fast and low. In fact, most people like fast and low over the net because they get to hit it back fast. Give your opponent what they don't want, right? The golden rule of tennis is do unto others as you don't want them to do to you. Give your opponent what they don't want. A slightly higher ball that either pushes them back or forces them to take the ball on the rise. And when you aim higher over the net, it's going to help if you have a lot of topspin. So pick up the Topspin Pro. You can get one with my affiliate link in the description. Now, the third tip, game changer for your tennis. Hit the ball cross court more often than you do down the line. When you hit the ball cross court, let's say you're here. When you hit the ball cross court, a few things happen. 1, you're hitting the ball over the lower part of the net. 2, you're hitting the ball to a longer distance. It is 4.5 feet longer, the court, diagonally, than it is down the line. So down the line, 78 feet. We know that. Diagonally from corner to corner, it's 82.5 feet. So if you hit down the line and the ball lands 4 feet out, 4 feet, it would have landed in if you would have just hit it cross court into the corner. So there's more distance. It's also wider, meaning you can actually pull your opponent off the court. No shot in the history of tennis has ever gone down the line and pulled the opponent off the court. They're not going to go running off the court when you hit down the line. You're keeping them within the framework of the court. But when you hit cross court, you can pull them off the court, opening up the next shot easily into the open court. And the last reason hitting the ball cross court is really helpful is because you don't have to run as far or move as far to bisect your opponent's next shot. So when you hit cross court, your opponent's here, let's say, you need to bisect their two best shots, their potential cross court and down the line shot. Well, you only have to move to there. If you would have hit the ball down the line, you would have to move pretty close to an extra 8 feet just to bisect their two best shots down the line and cross court. Hitting the ball cross court, there's a lower net to deal with, the court is wider, and you run a lot less. You ever seen in the apps like Australian Open, US Open, Wimbledon apps, and you can watch the matches and the updates of who's winning the matches? It shows you distance covered. If you hit cross court more than your opponent, you're going to do a lot less running, especially if you're playing an outdoor match where it's very hot. That's going to make a big difference. So when you're returning serve, aim down the middle. If you're missing the return, you can't break serve. Hit the ball higher over the net than you typically do. You're going to hit the net less, boosting instantly how consistent you are, and you're going to keep the ball deep, forcing them back so that they hit short more often and you can attack. And be sure to hit cross court a lot more often than your opponent. If you use these 3 strategies, there is no doubt in your next match, you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2MinuteTennis.net. You got this.